We are the heroine or hero of our own story. We have sentences and paragraphs, and chapters and pages that help us to tell the magnificent story of self. Anyone who writes or reads fiction understands that the story is nothing without conflict, without tragedy, without events in the heroine's life that make her question everything she thought she knew. So too it is with life. What builds our story, our character, and our definition of self are those chapters in our life that are exquisitely painful. The ones we think we won't survive. The ones we want to rip out of the book. I look back over those tragic chapters in my own life, and I can see that I am who I am because of what is written there. Had anyone asked, I would have declined each and every one of them. And yet, because I wasn't given that opportunity, the etchings into my soul are great, and they're beautiful, and they have altered the way that I see the world and my fellow human travelers, the earth, and they've given me the knowledge that the sacred can be found anywhere we choose to look. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who didn't love herself very much. There was a woman who didn't love herself very much. There were a lot of things in my younger years that I didn't like about myself. I found undesirable. My teeth were crooked, my hair was too curly, my breasts were too small. I wasn't short enough or tall enough or pretty enough. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't measure up to the standards of perfection that sat in neat card-cataloged files inside of my mind. At times I blamed the civil war that went on inside my head on my history. After all, by the age of 6, I already had a secret past. The unfortunate victim of child abuse, I learned early the importance of keeping secrets, of forming new identities, and never letting on that what had happened to you was killing you inside. I kept the battle up. I made fear-based choices to quiet the voices inside my head. I made warped decisions to punish the imperfections, and I made paper-thin resolutions to calm the anxious part, entangled portion of my mind. I struggled through marriage, through children, through life. I struggled through the loss of a daughter that left empty and hollow places inside of me that I will never be able to properly give voice to. And yet, in the midst of all of this, I wasn't unhappy. I knew how to find bliss, joy. I could see the cardinal in the middle of winter. I could find beauty in a landscape of scarcity. I knew truth when I saw it. I just couldn't see it in myself. And so I went about my days, each one following the other in this predictable and potentially never-ending pattern. Turning the pages, turning the pages, turning the pages. I went through my days like everyone else does, without this overt knowledge that there's only a finite number of pages. Someday the story has to come to an end. And I went through it not realizing that I was the heroine of my own story. It was 5 days before my 44th Christmas, and a doctor handed me a gift wrapped in medical bills, hospital gowns, and blue paper masks. I told him he was horribly mistaken. I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm in nursing school, for God's sake, I can't have cancer. And yet, like Frodo with that damnable gold ring, I was given a burden, told to carry it, and to live the best way that I knew how, while I did. My mind played tricks on me in those first few months. I felt like I was being smudged out with some great eraser. It's not that I was becoming invisible. Other people could see me. It's that I couldn't see myself. I was fading. I was losing solidity in the definition of the diagnosis, the fear of the prognosis. And then one morning, like I had 1,000 mornings before that, I reached my hand down and turned the water on in the bathroom faucet to brush my teeth. And I noticed my hand. My hand. Beautiful, perfect, connected to a body that was beautiful and perfect, connected to a mind more beautiful and more perfect. I was confronted in this mundane moment with the truth. This hand was part of me. It had been with me through all of the chapters of my life, dependable, faithful. My hand, my body, my mind. And then in a moment of even greater clarity that washed over me, washing years of disillusionment from my eyes, I realized I loved me. I would miss me if I were gone. And so, another chapter ended, another page turned, and the story goes on. Thanks.